Hello, and welcome to another episode of my Stellaris Let's Play. This is Northstar. I hope you folks are well. I'm tired. I've been recording for a while, driven partly by the desperate need to survive to get to my YouTube channel, to where it can make enough money that I can survive from that because I'm disabled on COVID. I can't work on my jobs. I get very loopy after 2 to 3 hours of mental exertion. Start to sound like someone who's drunk or something. Now, employers aren't going to tolerate that usually. I can't stand for more than maybe an hour without sitting down. Also, not something my employers want to deal with. I'm basically fully disabled. On COVID, I can't work enough to support myself, and most employers won't want to hire me at all. And can't get a society till my savings are practically depleted, and it's not actually enough money to pay rent at most places unless I can manage to get a bunch of roommates, be in a really crowded apartment, which is a danger to my health, by the way, because with long COVID reinfection with the coronavirus can make my long COVID worse and could eventually kill me if I keep getting reinfected. So I risk my life to live anywhere that I can even afford, and there aren't many places I can afford, even if I could get a and I'd have very little in savings and nothing to deal with unexpected costs, and so it's bad. Um, and there's no future in that, and it's fucking bullshit. I'm screwed out of SSDI. I rolled those out in the mid 90s with jobs for universities not contributing. So I may not go too much in that, other than the United States system is brutal, evil, and unjust. And I have, over many videos and politics videos especially, but it's a commentary, I tried to make the case to you guys about that. It's a fucked up system, and it's fucked up because it's controlled by the billionaires and has been for many decades. It's only just become obvious and undeniable now. It's not a democracy, it's an oligarchy that only works for the very, very richest people. And capitalism will never lead to this kind of thing. Capitalism is the root cause of the rot. But anyways, I'm gonna probably have to take a break partway through this video to get a quick snack or stretch my legs because I'm so damn tired, and then it's probably the last one of the day. But keep going with stuff fresh in my mind, and while I can hopefully get you guys something interesting. Let's see, 1410. So I saved 7 months, but I'm at 7. So in a year, I'll probably want to do proclaim religious reservation with some of those minor effects. Yep, yippity yippers. I gotta produce a lot of volume. You know, you get more done total if you do more in a day. So I don't completely overexert myself to the point of post-exertion malaise, which can happen if too much physical or mental exertion. This disease sucks, I tell you, but when I'm on a roll, some days I just won't be able to do anything regardless of what I did the previous day. And the government cut its research funding under Trump at the big beautiful bill, over cut like medical research funding basically in half for any actual cures or anything. So that probably dumbass things don't make the pharmaceutical industry have more profits because they won't suffer some sort of competition in the government. But actually, the way pharmaceutical industries produce cures is usually they work off research done by the government. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's trying to hurt the pharma industry because they wouldn't donate to Trump's campaigns or some bullshit. Either way, it's fucked up, and it's screwing over the more than 14 million Americans still on COVID. Quite a bit more, actually. That's an older number, but I think I've even quoted the higher ones to you guys before. Certainly no one's going to contest that figure. Because the actual number is quite a lot higher. Many people with long COVID, some with more severe forms like me who are disabled, others just affects their quality of life some, but even quality of life effects should be working on cured. It shouldn't have to be someone's life is at risk from a disease that you want to try and cure it. And it's not like the virus is going anywhere. Curing disease is an investment into the future that'll pay off for thousands of years if our society doesn't nuke itself. Medical research is a moral imperative, and a system that doesn't adequately invest in it can go fuck itself. It's not worth existing. And this isn't something I developed as a perspective when I got long COVID. I tried to make my career medical research before I found I could not sit in a laboratory. I was too social for it. I couldn't just sit in a laboratory. So I'd become a doctor, maybe try to do some medical research on the side. I strongly believe in the importance of medical research long before I got long COVID. This has only hardened my belief, but it was very much there before. And I'm putting that a little into action with my empire by running high in society research, so that helps me get like xenolinguistics earlier, and thus first contact. Make sure I can be the first on more of them. Might give me the universal translator if I do enough first contacts. It's a very rare empire modifier. Society research, and it'll help me up with species sooner, as well as get to biological ascension sooner. I'll build this based on high society research. Genetic identification helps with that. Priests producing society research, and a counselor can add to my biology research speed and reduce priest upkeep little. And Genesis guides for another counselor who can improve biology research speed even more. And reduce terraforming cost, increase speed, which combined with the zone acidic pre-sapiens can lead to some very well suited pops of the worlds I have in my borders. Probably should have started on this earlier. Let's just get the stupid alphas done. So it'd be a little more than 3 months because it's 100 days. So there's no reason to not done it earlier. Just freaking missed it. Better late than never, though. Trying to get 72 Corvettes, but not pay the upkeep until I'm gonna actually get that. I'll make the militaries happier. Even though they won't be useful in combat until they get some upgrades, but at least shields so they can tank cost effectively for the better ships. Weapons later to make the fleet hit harder. Better give all your ships level 1 weapons before you start giving level 2. I have the ship's faction approval, council agenda speed from that, and influence from naval coverage, not for combat really yet. The fact they can rapidly upgrade them in a hurry is not a bad thing. Faster in building new ships. So I got the bones of the ships done. Alright. Running a model. Oh yeah, pop upkeep reduction. So I have a real consumer goods surplus for a while. Guess we go more leeway until I get the civilian industries done on synth prime, not mixed. There's a lot more consumer goods will also help with the potential running more researchers. Remember correctly, researchers cost more. Job upkeep. I'm gonna show it correctly here. Oh no, it's actually priests cost more. Huh. Oh yeah, the archives are a place I can put a monument. So maybe I do want to keep it as the archives instead of society research. Just turn a temple into a monument because I really do need a monument. The time bit uni is whatever. The buffs to civilians once I have a substantial number of them. I don't know. But some civilian industries, Understand Prime wouldn't hurt for getting Genesis arcs and yeah. If I can afford the gold, all I need more alloys too for a fleet. And I need a bit. I need the housing plot. Maybe I'll just do mixed industry. Specialization, I'll have to wait till later. Crash Scoutcraft. Cool. Alright. This is some kind of alien race there. Totally there. I'm not gonna be able to finish surveying the Gothra system, and there is still stuff to do here. I could find another alien race. Could poke through this Empire's doors, but they might close them. So let's grabbing this and this. On the way through. Hold hard. Potential. Okay, nah. Alright, I need to just boom. Take the minor risk of cutting close to the Chatoid this time. No. Why would I bother? Closest approach. There. Just a tiny bit of add distance. It's probably enough. I think I overdid before. And outward we go. The roamer's gonna roam. Almost done with the Zag district. Find this. Cool, let's help with build speed in the. This is this guy. Sector governor. To me, he's the governor. Oop. Yep. Sector. So all my officials have substantial duties. They're a sector governor, ruler, minister of state, defense commander who also governs a planet. All my leaders getting decent mileage. Decent, not always amazing. This month I'll also have a new crop of leaders to pick from. I'll be cursing my luck. You never know. Sometimes my luck is okay. It usually sucks. That's been my life. Terrible luck. Alright. 3 farmers. It's not prioritizing them as much as it should. Hmm. Use the generator district. And blockers, but also clearing blockers, but the building. Don't pops for yet. This is gonna be a medical center eventually. Especially when I don't have max habitability yet. Like archives here eventually, but alright. Agricultural focus. I can get a food processing center to get more farmers. Let's see who's available for leaders. Justin. Two more void hunters. Annoying. None of these are pacifists. More annoying. And an enlister here. Can be okay for governing a brand new planet, I suppose. I thought enlister gives planet governor soldier jobs. Why is it not showing that? That's weird. Isn't like you can only do it once. So in this sector governor, so it might just be a UI thing before you recruit someone, or maybe sometimes it's bugged. Devs decide to nerf it, and there's different versions. I don't know. Scientists for now. Anyways. Level 2 official is available. This guy adds pop growth speed. And food. Was worth recruiting this guy. He's 40 years old, so it's less time to live. Only 40 years. Oh, he has to be counselor. That's not planet governor. Never mind. Whoops. A 32-year-old carefree or meticulous scientist. I like meticulous. Only 33, so not much older. Still surveying to be done. We'll be honestly for a while. Well, yet. So, do have some anomalies. Not that many. That many. Really? Yeah, sec. Okay. Yeah, I hate doing this. I hate passing meticulous, but there just aren't that many places to survey left. I mean, I'm gonna run out before too long, anyhow. Well, This person's still surveying. This one's still... Ah, frick it. I can do one more contiguous, and after that, it's probably the end. Alright, let's hire this leader and see what I get. The second trait. Scientific progress must serve the state. Let's see what to upgrade. Contiguous 2. Logistics understanding. Use this. Roamer. Plus 2. This 2 actually levels up faster, and this we gotta get the veteran trait. Yeah. Occurs to me. When you do a project, you get some experience. This guy isn't far from leveling up. 89 experience, and there's passive gain. So that might, the wily Doran, whatever, probably level this person up. Joking Marquise. And without hurting experience gain, I can recruit one more scientist. Tuition, because there are some higher level numbers to do. Probably all be left in the end. Center progress must serve the state. The authoritarian. That's what he believes. Yeah, him, Ernst Klein. Carefree. Resilient or celebrity. Amenities in the capital. Entertainers. Useless. Carefree 2. This leader is perhaps less meticulous than others. Fast in all my research speed, though. Isn't that? Yeah, okay. Maybe. I haven't even mapped any of this. Maybe explore. Into orbit here. Placeholder. As soon as that other scientist needs to level someone up. And then we'll send the science ship exploring that mind or that way. Make first contacts. Alright. Evolution. Cool. On track. March, I wanna see what's going with the alien spacecraft there. Report. Putting things off the last minute. Not interrupting my momentum, and often it's better to wait. So some people will wait to research stuff till later, but I just don't like having the map covered in anomalies. I like to make it cleaner. Still looking at the detailed view, so I just wait to process data till later, I guess. Similar to if you do it, put off anomalies till later. Anyways. Yeah, let's There's no automatic resettlement, so I don't have to care about migration. Let's open jobs. Go to migration. Meaningless. They all work as farmers if they're not miners. This orders demands be saving up minerals, probably for the archives here. Actually put me into some goods deficit. Maybe I'll do food processing first. We'll see. With the cloning, my population is growing slower than I'd like. Alright. Recruit another commander. Don't know if this guy could eventually allow militarist representation on the council. Wish someone from Synth Prime, mayor from there, might be used as governor. Yeah, it also adds to ethics straw, whatever the governor is, so I don't necessarily want governors who are militarist. That's another thing. Probably wait. Or maybe I'll create a commander from, if I find marauders who recruit people. I think they don't count towards commander limit, though. I'm not sure. Maybe they do. This is the cost and scale for every limit. I forget. No, only miss. Terrible on the orders to mince either. To assign more enforcers that was squires from it. Chain crops.
Construction completed.
Hmm? Oh, the new star base. Expanding my borders. Get nice rich systems like Throp here. Can't do this system because freaking mining drones don't write a file. I have to skip over it if I want to compete with this empire and be able to spin off fast in this area. It's annoying, but I can always see progress single system. Left more influence in the long run, but it helps ensure I'm not balled in and unable to compete due to having not enough territory later. Cool. Prop don't hug. That's stupid. It's a modest bureaucratic center tasked with surveying arable land and initiating expansion of planetary agriculture. It's +2 max agriculture districts, but only while you have the friggin' building. Food process, which makes it stupid, pointless. Except resource silos, I suppose. So one more reason to have some districts there were. Eco-simulated farms or agricultural strategies are backed by countless meticulously detailed simulations. Do hydroponic farms for more jobs. It's the same building that can be built like in cities. Hydroponic farms produce nutrient-rich vegetable matter tailored for consumption by local pops. I think it's buildable here. What I want is a food processing facility. 1.4 energy for substantial increase of food output. Food that's processed these facilities has its nutritional value greatly increased. Yay, nutrient paste. Not so sure that the hyper-processed food is more nutritious, but whatever. Alright, I could set up a mineral extraction area. Beneath the reinforced layers of stone and steel, drills chew through ancient bedrock to unearth the lifeblood of industry. Do that specialization later. Yeah, the minerals and such. And archives will have to wait till the free minerals of Anchor. Alien spacecraft. Let's see what this is about. A badly damaged military vessel bearing elaborate alien insignia circles Ruthari B. The ship has suffered a heavy incendiary attack, which has melted its hull, leaving no survivors aboard. No weapons known to us today can produce temperatures high enough to cause such an effect. Perhaps the ship's log may shed some light on its bow end. I forget, or is this the one that leads to the them in the logs?
Situation log has been updated.
It leads to the Rubricator. I was thinking of something else, but this actually may be even more valuable. Alien logs. We recovered the logs in the wreckage of an alien spacecraft in the hopes they'll tell us something of its final moments. Science officer Renato Ramirez has supplied that they're quite extensive. It take a while to translate. You know, I think it actually is. Let's research those and then boom. Might find the Rubricator system. That'd be cool. Lots very valuable relic. Give me lots of minor artifacts for some influence. Certainly swimming enough influence for it. Alright. monetary deficits. I'm actually struggling to keep my trade value in the positive. Deficits are a little high. A little easier if I produce more food locally in a sense. Dead farmers. Uh, 3 pops a month. 3 months for that culture focus even pays off here. And the main thing, I think, is just big food processing. It's always getting building done ahead of time. Doesn't cost me upkeep, but some goods for the archives. Anchor quite yet. Just gonna have to wait for pop growth, I guess. Alright. Take a quick break here. Get some food. I'll see you folks in a bit. Till then, adieu. Hello, and welcome back. Memory of MR. This soundtrack's annoying. Let's change stuff in a second. I did spend time thinking, since I'm desperate for population, I might get a little used to the automation building. Things worked a little different than I thought with the agriculture focus added jobs to all the farming districts, not just to one. I thought it would just give 100 jobs, give 300. So if I did a hydroponic farm next and turned an agricultural district to generator, reduce number of farmer jobs to 800, yes, but 900. Those pops just go work as technicians, and I could do an automation building. Cost 60 energy upkeep, so I actually have a little less energy surplus, but no, actually I work 200 more technicians, so I have slightly more, and I could actually resell some technician pops. Actually, maybe I turn agriculture to city district down. Need energy right now. Yeah, generator. I don't freaking know. I know I need more agriculture, so maybe I just automate for now with 3. I'll eat up almost all my energy surplus, but no, actually I'll have more technicians. They could already have 1,000. That's 240. Let's take a quick look at this. Puts more in a third higher. 4 times 6, 12. It's almost 20. Yeah, I'd have a little less energy surplus, a little. I have some civilians they could resettle. To go increase agriculture in this and then pop growth as well. Yeah, so it's a very marginal thing. Very, very, very marginal, but give me a slight boost if I got the minerals. Yeah, the tier 1 automation building is, you have to be very careful. It's easy for it to actually be a net loss, knowingly. I forget if you can swap the scientist. It does. And change scientist partway through once I start this. Let's find out. Nope. I'll just stay here. Yeah. Elusive Tarblack? Yeah. Given that thing's quite dangerous, maybe they realize how dangerous this is. Called off the hunt for it and gain better materials. I don't know. So, slightly increased food production, slightly increased food production energy. Yeah. Store minerals for archives and anchor and everything. It's just so damn marginal and barely make a profit. I'm getting Unity, tech, and way too much influence, probably, actually. Wait, why am I still running a food surplus? Oh, maybe it didn't process the increased number of farmers here. Got more extra jobs than I thought. Huh. Fewer technicians than I thought. Okay. And the farmers are low priority until the food processing facility. Hey, what do you know? 225. If I were to automate right now, I'd have just enough labor to do all the farming jobs. Probably just enough energy, too. Need the fruit surplus this moment, so I guess it's fine. First contact with Jackoid progenitors. Alari! How delightful. These are Xenophile fallen empires, the only type that will trade early on. You're xenophile yourself, usually. We hadn't expected to encounter you for a few centuries yet. Personally, I thought you'd wipe yourselves out long before leaving your gravity well, but I'm glad to be proven wrong. We share the same divine heritage, exactly. As incredibly ugly as they are. Pacifist. Everyone is important approach to things. They have existential iteropathy parody. Interesting. And they're molluscoid species. Whereas arid worlds, they have domestic servant robots, and then they have a bunch of samples of other species. Necroid lithoid. Ah, so some lithoids now exist for sure. And humanoids. The Taverites. Pretty much ensuring I can get lithoid transgenesis once I get finish out the mutagenesis pathway. Once I get it, rather. Where are they, though? They just contacted me out of the blue. It's not the yellow aliens, is it? Hmm. Called the last video of the James Cook. What? What's the most interesting that's happened in this video? I met a fallen empire, but of course that's always a big thing. The Jackley progenitors. They're still dismissive towards me. I can't see more. I think they'd like me more if I certain policies may be upsetting them. Probably them not doing non-interference here. They might not like the pre-update alignment either. Why them if they discover you anyways, basically. Prosperity, security, education, defense. Guns are better. These are the questions every government with limited resources asks themselves throughout history. Ours is no different. Guns are better is literally a Nazi thing. They were slogan. I don't know. They shouldn't be talking about that stuff. Disconnected drones. Can decide whether or not to allow drones disconnected from their center of consciousness to live in our colonies. Though severed from a collective consciousness, these drones can be kept alive. or extermination. The rights of a sapient being do not extend to those without reason. Without a central consciousness to guide them, these drones are more than animals. An animal that gets in the way is a pest. So you can... I could sustain them in the hopes of what? Re-establishing a central consciousness or burying them as a... There's definitely potentially stuff to be done there. I'm breaking even on food. Interesting. To surplus processing facilities. Progress will come more and more slowly. Economically, but it will come.
System survey concluded.
Some kind of unknown structures are filling this gas giant's upper atmosphere. They appear to be using aerostat lift to remain buoyant. So many anomalies in the system. God, why did it have to be a system? I have to race to get them. I want to be out surveyed by the hive mind. This must be a Shatoid if they've got a fleet here. I bet that's what this is a Shatoid asteroid. Another one. Good thing I was the one that surveyed that. Still trying to figure out why I'm doing the agriculture focus right now. Probably to pre-build, but for what? I may actually move farming off the capital to here to deal with the trade, the planetary deficit. I do hydroponics farms next, and then turn one of the farms into a city district. At that point, store up a little excess food. Different plans, different ways to develop. There's always something they could be doing. Gunsborough was like a Nazi slogan. They were saying, why not both? And then they were spreading racist lies, claiming that it was groups they hated. The real reason they couldn't do both. Of course, the real reason is because they're very, very rich were holding on to what they had in a time when the global economy was in a deep, deep recession. There wasn't enough resources to go around. Class conflict was the real issue that was at heart. The Nazis were reactionary sentiment because socialism was gaining ground in Germany, like actual socialism, the Communist Party of Germany, and the anarcho-socialist parties. Movements, not really parties, they were rarely that organized. The Spartacist League had almost taken over Germany in the 1920s, and so the very rich assholes funded the Nazis to crush socialism. The fact that some Christian elites were able to kill off Jewish rivals and steal their assets was just a bonus to those people. But their real goal was to crush socialism. And then they also exterminated Roma along the way, tend not to integrate in the capitalist economies ways that were profitable. So, yeah, the interests of fascists are often the interests of a certain segment of the ruling elites, even if that means turning on other segments of the capitalist class. It's one group. When capitalism reaches crisis, one group of capitalists will band together to destroy not only rival capitalists, but all the other classes. And because this is even tinier minority of the population ruling than is normally the case in like bourgeois democracies, where you have billionaires control most things, which is what most democracies end up being like. And eventually, when capitalism subverts democracy, it may start off as a real republic, but it doesn't stay that way. I.e., the U.S. is a great example. Germany, when it wasn't fascist, its democratic periods, is also an example. In many countries, you may have a period of real democracy, but it always turns into oligarchy. But when the crisis gets deeper, it's not enough for the billionaires to even share what there is to go around. They feel they need to take a slice of the billionaire class, other billionaires, take their assets, and then use brutal oppression of the population to maintain control, when even they don't even have all the what was the billionaires. They've even turned on some of their own to maintain their wealth and status. And they crush the workers and such by gathering the resources of consoling the billionaire wealth even further, or multi-millionaire, but basically the ruling class. It's like, people with hundreds of millions of dollars and above, by consoling that amount of wealth even further, as happened, for instance, in Nazi Germany, and then also oppressing the workers who their wages in most Germans went down by to less than half of what they'd been in real terms under Nazis. People think, oh, it was great for it. No, at least those fucking assholes are making apologetics for an evil movement that murdered tons of people and also made wages go way down and crushed labor unions, and working conditions got worse. You were more likely to die of workplace injuries than before, etc. It was this myth. There was Nazi propaganda claiming the opposite, but it wasn't true. The Nazis were liars above all else. So they turned on the working class. Billionaires turned on each other. I mean, they'd always been screwing the working class, but they screwed them way worse than ever before. And thus the billionaires who were on the winning side of this were able to maintain their incredibly lavish lifestyles and privilege, while everyone else suffered. That's fascism.
Completed.
That's Trump. He's even turning on certain segments of the billionaire class, the ones who tend to support Democrats, trying to get the point where the FBI will hunt his political opponents. That's why he's tried to hurt the FBI so bad, to purge of anyone who's not a loyalist to him, because that's the key agency that he needs to replace state. I mean, I didn't think Trump was gutsy enough to do something so fucking evil before, but it's become more and more obvious that that's what he's after. So he's taking a page out of Mussolini's book. Talk about the Nazis, because they're very well studied, but his actual strategy is more similar to Mussolini's, not Hitler's. But of course, putting it to Hitler, you can see how bad it can get under fascism. That was obviously the worst of it. Things were not good in fascist Italy either. Make no mistake. It wasn't as bad as Nazi Germany. It was still bad. In Italy, it also almost had a socialist takeover with the 2 red years, which is a fond nickname people have for that. Many Italians wish the socialists had taken over instead of the fascists. I mean, the socialists eventually moderated themselves and turned into social democrats, really. Some of them, and the true socialists, actual, like, anarchists and communists eventually got, like, some of their leaders were killed off by the CIA after World War II. Some were killed by the fascists before then. The CIA did this in secret, and it's still, they refused to own up to it, but so many people had convenient accents that was almost certainly CIA stuff, and maybe some Soviet KGB. Those communists who wouldn't work with the Soviets were also killed by KGB, so it was both CIA and KGB killing off socialist leaders in Italy, and the fascists already done a number on them. And socialism never covered in Italy, but many ordinary Italians actually, the nickname the 2 red years was a fond one, because many people were sympathetic. And for good reason. Socialism is not an evil thing. It says democratic socialism. I think the communists have the wrong idea of how to go about socialism, and it will lead to authoritarian control. Their version of how to get there. Not, I mean, they always point to Lenin's on authority, and yes, revolutions are inherently authoritarian, but the real issue people are trying to point is what happens after the revolution. A one-party state is not going to remain democratic, even if it starts that way. It's going to degenerate even faster. Opposition parties are needed. Just one isn't enough. You need more than 2 parties, or you'll get to where the U.S. is. Soviet Union only had one party. That was what fucked it in the end. Democratic socialism tolerates multiple competing parties and doesn't try and force everyone to merge into a single party, which is a dumb idea that Lenin had. It ruined everything else he tried to do in the end. I mean, not in his lifetime, but by the time he was, sometime after he was dead, by the time he died, it was already starting to show its
We have encountered
flaws.
spaceborne life forms.
Where? What? Oh, the res aliens. Something new. There's a Shatoid. I was right. One of their science ships probably got Ian, and now they're trying to... Can't even see what it tends to use for defenses. Yeah. Some more grazing talkie. Cool. But history lesson aside, I don't think Trump's necessarily succeed in what he appears to be trying to do either. So just because it doesn't happen doesn't mean it was wrong. You may not, just because Trump doesn't make it really obvious he's attempting, it doesn't mean it was wrong either. He could get unnerved, decide it's not going to work, and give up before it's beyond a doubt obvious. But this appears to be what he's trying to do. Purge the FBI of anyone who's a dissenter, then hunt his political opponents, including socialists, by the way. Democratic socialists is one more reason I need to get out of the country as a political refugee as soon as countries will accept that. Probably won't be for a few years, but a couple of years from now, if countries are taking political refugees in the United States, I'll be gone. I'm not gonna stay in this shitty country. It's done a number on me. It's treated me like nothing but shit. Never done a damn thing for me. Fucked me over, even though I've made my whole life about serving others and done my part as being a good citizen. For decades and decades. More than 3 decades. I kept my nose clean, worked hard, was honest, kind, and what happened? I lived in poverty. I got saddled with enormous student loan debt. I didn't get good health care, often because I wasn't always health insurance or Medicaid. Medicaid did not provide good health care when I had it because a lot of doctors would not treat Medicaid patients right. I suffered abuse because I was in a situation where I was not able to leave staying with family because I could not afford to live on my own. So I had to stay with a family member who was behaving verbally and emotionally abusive to me because stuff like Section 8 is not funded enough, which happens all the time. All the time. That people get stuck in abusive situations, can't leave because housing assistance is not well enough funded, or they leave and they end up homeless, literally homeless, like on the streets homeless, not just like for a day. Like it's homeless for less than a day until I got a short-term Airbnb. Even before that, I had a hotel for a night, so it was homeless for a few hours. But though technically by legal definitions, it's homeless to me before because I didn't own the family place I was staying with family. But you know what I'm saying, for a few hours, I had no idea where it was gonna lay my head. I didn't have even the meager life savings I scraped together by being ridiculously frugal my whole life. I would have not been able to do that. The system has mistreated me, abused me, been vicious and nasty, and my life's probably going to be in danger if Trump gets his way and turns the country fascist. I have every right to say this is a terrible system. And if a couple years now I can leave it legally, safely, whatever, I'm out of here. Alright. Scientist is leveled up. This one's training to be a counselor. Maybe head of research. Unifier is not great for scientists if they're not going to lead you. Be a planetary governor. There's still surveying to be done here and there, I suppose. These are not traits I would have picked for this person. I guess I'm not going to have enough commanders and officials to govern everywhere eventually. The unifier thing could eventually be useful, but forget. I'll set up roaming. Probably put them out on the frontiers surveying. Out and about. Okay. Meters. We swap in, have the one go further abroad of the alien Rogsby. That guy who's RT's adaptable roamer politician. Meantime, this may still eventually have to become my head of research just because pacifist. challenges. They dislike what takes risks out there in the frontier, surveys more places, and concentrating. Experience in that guy. This one's still getting passive XP, being in charge of the science ship. Boom. Swap will be in the works soon. But yeah, I'm perfectly based to say this country's been nothing but brutal, and it's brutal to the people at the bottom, and it's not based on merit, because I was extremely intelligent. Although talent shouldn't be the basis for who deserves to be treated well by a system. Extremely honest and kind, which should be more, if you ask me, the thing that, although I was more exceptional in my intelligence than my honesty and kindness. So I'm not saying that it's a self-serving there. And extremely hardworking. By being born into a really bad situation, abusive parents, and a path that, with my parents getting divorced and stuff, would have me grow up in poverty. Poverty plus abuse can really fucking set you in a bad place. And a capitalist system screws over those at the bottom. People like me were pretty much guaranteed to have disadvantages, and those who suffer disadvantages really get screwed by capitalism. It's brutal to those who are at any kind of competitive disadvantage. It's a winner-take-all system, and winner-take-all systems are vile. It's not how you should run a society. It does not lead to the greatest human well-being. It does not lead to most happiness or the fastest progress. The Soviet Union had a higher long-term GDP growth rate than U.S. China has already exceeded the size of the U.S. economy. The Soviet Union would have around 2050, even though it actually had a head start on China. Its path of economic progress was less efficient than China's, actually. But China also had the advantage of a larger population to get there quicker. Either way, both Chinese and Soviet communism exceeded the US in their economic efficiency. Actual investment efficiency is lower in the US, but because wealth is distributed more evenly, they're actually able to put more of their GDP into investment while still guaranteeing most people good quality of life. And again, the political oppression is due to the one-party state. It's not due to socialism. Socialism and one-party state do not go hand in hand. But yeah, capitalism leads to immense suffering, economic suffering rather than suffering due to suppression of dissidents, but it's actually greater suffering even than what communism leads to. By communism, I mean Marxist-Leninism as opposed to other forms of socialism. Would be better off under Marxist-Leninism than under what we have, and I am not a Marxist-Leninist. I am a democratic socialist, and I think we'd be much better off under democratic socialism than Marxist-Leninism. But capitalism is at the bottom of the barrel in terms of outcomes of human well-being, and it's actually worse in like the third world. The oppression and suffering are worse. Rich capitalist countries export their suffering to the third world, so it's worse there. The Rubricator. Okay, that's what I thought this might have been. I started to suspect. Anyways. You know what? Barely made any progress in this. Let me do that. Cancel that. This guy is close to leveling up. Research this. And then this. Get close enough together. Screw it. And boom. Joe and Ortiz can take immense risks, and if he comes back alive, he may get to be a counselor. Higher up in the ruling hierarchy is already very much the ruling class as a leader. Anyways, the Rubricator. An analysis of the ship's logs reveals that the crew met its demise while trying to retrieve an irreplaceable, replicable, meaning can't be replicated, alien artifact called the Rubricator. It was stolen from their society by a, quote, pack of thieving rats, a curious choice of words, as they themselves are most rat-like in appearance. The logs are mainly comprised of curses warning the rat robbers to the end of the universe and beyond. The crew has counted upwards of 50 individual words for defecation, as well as a wide selection of places from which a star's light cannot escape. But the arduous work has paid off. It's like references to like stick something up their own ass or something, I don't know. We have uncovered the last known location of the Rubricator in a previously uncharted system. If we are to believe its former owners, its powers are worth pursuing. We must have the Rubricator. Protected
Situation log has been updated.
by a space dragon. Indeed. I would disagree that we must have it, but it's nice to have for CERN. Shoot, this is around the border with this. Change of plans. Going this way. I should be able to find. Maybe there could be anomalies in the system besides the Rubricator itself. I may find them. Since this system just spawned before this Empire, the ALF aliens surveys it. They might end up with the Rubricator and the Space Dragon. I may have to actually... the game is pushing me to be militaristic here. To ban pacifism. Hive mind here, and Empire that get the Rubricator here. It's definitely pushing militarism. I may eventually do it, although
Research concluded.
gene crops, sophisticated genetic engineering crops, helps increase yield and further improve both taste and nutrient levels. Well, I know what to call this video, by the way, actually. The Rubricator. Wasn't clear. Or hints of the Rubricator or something. But anyways, maybe thieving rats. I don't want to spoil it. Not like it's gonna be a thing. I'm gonna actually find it. Probably. But if I... No, it was a science ship excavating an outpost, maybe. I don't get over here, but I think that stimulation. I don't know why this pops up so often. It's deep tissue implants are the latest innovations in the revolutionary overlapping of sensory engineering and entertainment experiences. Where we're going, we won't need skin to feel. Yeah, that's chemical Bliss is, I don't know why you would do it. Putting your population to like a drug-induced coma seems, I guess it's just to shit on people with addictions or something. I don't know why they include this. Galactic Archivism already? This story galaxy warrants proper preservation in order to learn from those who came before us. An archive on the grand scale would fit such a purpose. Creation Beyond, one of my favorite soundtracks. Vitality boosters, only a lifespan. I don't think many of my leaders are getting close to death except the Archprophetess. Oh. I'm not quite. I may or may not roll this again before it's relevant. This gives influence I'm not sure I can use right away. In Uni, which I should like being larger if I uplift. And I save a little progress if I do Genesis Preserves. I might want to wait on epigenetic triggers. Grab Vitality boosters, it'll knock more things out of the biology loop. Let me keep my ruler a little longer until the heir is level 4 and has his veteran class. Well, actually, I'll have that before then anyhow, but current ruler is probably better because he's got Fertility Preacher. Talent, charismatic, there. He's more principled, but it doesn't have Fertility Preacher. Grand Archive is bloody expensive. Oh, not that expensive. These things at scale are actually not that worthwhile very early, so I don't have anything to exhibit. I don't even have stuff I can put up at Varium yet. I'm just doing vitality boosters. Where the body fails, science intervenes. This will knock more things out of the biology research options so that I can draw other. Oh! Wait. Oh, I'm fine with that. I think with 60, I'll also gain progress as I do next. But yeah, I'll do these when I have a little more partial progress. But let's do vitality boosters so I have more biology text I can draw. Like it'll. Pretty sure it'll try to balance across fields, and even if not, it's useful. Should focus on food production because you're done automating so I can get nutritional plenitude and grow my population faster. Heck, this will make it easier to sustain the energy farm. Automation mean the labor free up from farming and generate more energy as technicians. And this. Do I have global energy management? Nope. Interestingly not. Anyways, so I can't actually build substation relay complexes. That's not even available anyways. So automation. There's a little longer. It's automating the next big thing, I guess, or small thing because it's barely profitable. Barely. bases. Hmm. Got to start on that star base. Got to produce a bunch more corvettes. So I'll finish up upgrade fleet 2 and maybe I'll split reserve fleet 1. I think that'll have 2 reserve fleets. Name them earlier. I think it's getting close on. But this is a good time as any to call the video. So I hope you folks enjoyed this. Take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves. May you always find a guiding star lead home until next time. This Northstar. Adieu. And best luck. I'll see you later where I guess I'll double think make sure I'm correct about this tech. Think about how we can increase my output of a lot of things from population alloys and automate. Anyways, farewell.